Sweat no more. I'm gonna push it some more. Ah, la, 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 la. Ah, la, 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 la. Long, long, long. Ooh, yes. Ah, la, 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 la. Ah, la, 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 la. One more time. Ah, la, 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 la. Ah, la, la, la.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:32. It is June 24th. Hope everyone is feeling well. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. I do moderate the Alpha team. I'm the founding partner of Red Dog Mindset, and I'm here for you. I am here for you. Here for you, my doggies. Listen to a little Bob Marley radio. Feeling nice and relaxed. Anyway, lots of things going on. News last night hit that U.S.-Israel ceasefire with Iran. Not going to get into geopolitics, but I got to say, friggin' very straightforward campaign, knocked out the nuclear program in Iran. The threat is minimized. I think the world's a safer place, and the stock market's up 45 handles for now. We'll see, do we hold and build or not? As an active trader, you have to make adjustments when adjustments happen. We talk about the 8-day, the 21-day all the time, and guess what? Friday, we held the 21-day, and yesterday we reclaimed the 8-day, and some things acted well. So if you reduced a little risk last week and put a little bit of risk back on, yesterday, I think you navigated this thing pretty well. And if you watched yesterday and you're part of the Alpha team, I do have a bunch of positions on. So, I'm going to trim and trail and use my whole process here. So anyway, if you look right now at the chart of the SPYs, what am I talking about? Well, you had your low, you had your higher low. That's your W bottom. Then from there, we took back the 21-day, and we've been above the 21-day pretty much since April. That's a strong trend. A lot of things going on between the tariffs and between the war and between, the debt ceiling and the this and then that. And PS, a lot of good things happen. But anyway, if you look here, you had that little bit of a red dog reversal when it went below 592.86 and held it. So from 603 down, that could have been a spot to cover some shorts, a spot to maybe get a little long, and then didn't get rejected at 596. I'm like, if the sellers are strong or the sellers want to reject price, they probably don't let it take back 596.76. And guess what? Sellers had no power. So now here we are above 603 in the SPYs, 603.50-ish. So we'll see, does that hold and build? If it stays above this 603.47 and stays above it, chances are it could make its way back towards that 611, 613 area, which was the prior high. That's where we spent a lot of time before breaking down. So we'll see if there's enough power there. You got the Qs also. A lot of talk about this cup developing a handle. What did it do here? Went below 524.89, reclaimed it. So from 534 down 10 points, could have given you a good spot to cover if you were short or buy for a red dog reversal buy. And this also took back the 8-day moving average. So anyway, not bad action if you focus on the action. Plus, if you focus on the geopolitical news, you've been following it pretty close too. And, Israel started and did a friggin' fantastically strong job. And then the U.S. came in, took out what they had to do, and here we are, in a safer world according to the red dog. So I know some of you guys, don't, agree with this and that, but that's fine. Just don't be a jerk, because I block a lot of jerks a day on my Twitter. Not because they have conflicting views, just the way they conduct their business. But anyway, we'll see what happens here. I am long some IWM, which is nice. IWM also did a red dog reversal, got below 207.78 and held it, closed strong. So that's probably one of my bigger positions. I will trim some, and we'll see if we can get towards 215.43. As far as stocks are concerned, 24 hours ago, I'm like, hey guys, the robo-taxi event's behind us. Tesla's showing some volume and some relative strength pre-market. It's going to be a focus, because when Tesla is good, it's great. And Tesla yesterday was awesome. Early on, gave you a really fast move through 335.50, and then it came back to it, and you could have been a buyer, and then it pretty much was strong all day. Where's Tesla right now? Tesla is, where is Tesla? Tesla is up 717. I've trimmed a little bit, because I did come in with a bunch. So we'll see how it goes. But I had some calls coming into yesterday. I sold 3/4 of them. I'm going to hold the rest. and I'm in some stock, and we'll see, does it get above 357 to work towards 367, or does it need to hang out a little bit? But ultimately, nice follow through, no predatory action there. As far as other things that are looking pretty good, okay, so what's it called? I like Meta. I did buy some Meta. I bought some Meta options. I'm not in the stock. It also repaired really fast. Didn't even get to the 21 days, so it showed some relative strength. The next spot to get above would be 708. So we'll see if there's enough volume and enough enough risk tolerance for this to get above 708. So that looks pretty good. What else is working for me today? Dash has been absolutely a rock star. I've talked about Dash probably once a day since August 8th. And look at that beautiful move right there. I've showed you the monthly charts, the weekly charts, and the weekly chart with this huge cup and handle, with my target 25 to 225 to 257 at least. That would be just back to where it was here. So hopefully a lot of you guys caught that. I think you did. If you didn't, I don't know who the hell you're watching. You might as well stop watching the 630 Club. But if you remember the Alpha team, those guys have been in it the whole time. Those are the guys that spend the entire day with me. Anyway, that's that. At this point, you have to trim and trail. You missed the last entrance. We've had a bunch of them. We had above 210. We had above 214. And there you go. Yesterday, a bunch of my dogs bought back ASTS. ASTS came into the 43, came back to the 8-day, and had a nice buy. Millions were made on this friggin' stock when it got above 25.50, 29.09, 35, 39. I was in the stock the entire time up until Friday. And then yesterday, it's not really that funny, but I did have a bid in of 43, and it went to 43.02, and I was too busy with other things, and I kind of missed it. It happens. Can't be in everything, but sometimes if you're too cute and take something off, you don't get back in, and I should have went back to that. So I kind of screwed that up, but can't be in every move. Stock looks unbelievable, though. A lot of guys are talking about this Rocket Lab, moving with it. This also had a really nice move, and it's probably above this area. So it's good to know the groups. Stocks like to have friends. Don't you like to have friends? Red Dog likes to have friends. Dogs travel in packs, so why can't stocks do that? So anyway, that's that. Alan is asking about coin. Coin does look good. Yesterday, I'm like, if it holds, this 294, 298-ish, it looks good. Looks like it's on its way to 351. There you go. That's a nice looking, what's it called, chart. Last big buy was right here at 263 and 270, and now, it's on its way higher. Some stocks have been lagging, so it'll be interesting. Amazon just has been really horrible, but maybe because if the market's going to hold up, maybe it could play a little catch up. I'm not going to hyper focus on Amazon. Amazon and Google have been pretty horrendous. I'd like to see NVIDIA finally wake up. NVIDIA cost me some money. Yes, it has. It's cost me some money. Pretty much, figured it would get above 144, 145, and it tried a bunch of times. And if you would have added to it each time it tried, you got hurt. So yesterday I said I'm not going to overtrade NVIDIA. I was on Spaces with a bunch of the guys, and I was saying how I was buying the 147 calls for this Friday and next Friday. So it'd be nice if we can get above 146.18 and hold it. Right now, NVIDIA is right here. Some people are like, hey, Red Dog, Jensen's selling stock. I'm like, he's on a plan to sell stock because basically he has to. He doesn't want to be stuck like Jeff and McKenzie, who own 20% of a float and stop prices. So let him sell a little bit here and there. NVIDIA does more than enough volume. So if NVIDIA can get above 146.18 and hold it, next spot's 149. And if that were to happen, Red Dog would be very happy because I do have a lot of options on there, and I'll see whether or not I could add to the stock. Yes, Bitcoin did what it does. Bitcoin went below the 50-day over the weekend, got everyone scared, and it's back at 105,000. So Bitcoin's looking just fine. Alan Gladstone said, I just saw a piece at Qatar now saying a Gaza peace agreement about to happen. Look at that. All of a sudden, peace in Gaza, peace in Iran, and we're all in control, and there's no more bad guys. Anyway, with that being said, it is what it is. I'm not going to start, getting into that. But anyway, And then for everyone who wants to, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about the far left, the far right. I like to be in the center, in the middle. But anyway, what else could work? So some people are like, hey, Red Dog, what do you think about NBIS? NBIS did a little bit of a Red Dog reversal. NBIS held a 21-day. We'll see. I have some options on that are for July 3rd. It's going to need some kind of catalyst to really get going, but it looks pretty good. I did buy this sphere yesterday. It's I don't know if you've ever been there in Vegas, but it's pretty friggin' cool. And if you look at this chart, this was when it couldn't get above this area for a year. So I do think there's some room in this sphere, and it's a newer name. I do think that they're going to put a bunch of these in different spots. So I just put it on. Maybe it's pretty cool, and it could hit this little spot in there. But again, it's not a huge position of mine, but it's something. Yeah, some of these, the little names kind of looks like they put a little bit of a bottom in. Some of the, some of those quantum names like IONQ, QBT, those things have been tough because they've been raising money, and I got caught in a few of them. But we'll see. Someone's like, what about, I got caught in this RDW where it was looking great right here, and then they announced a money raise, which is what they do, and it came all the way into the 50 days. So some guys bought a little bit of this into the close. I did not. Let's see, Alan, you're busy today, huh? No, CrowdStrike's at all-time highs. Nelvis, I get it. I have not been in these names the way I should be, but I have 7 longs on, and that's just T3 with 14 sets of option trades. I have put CrowdStrike in my note every day. It just gets a very loose and wide. And I actually got thrown off after earnings when it, kind of gapped down and didn't do so great. But yes, this is great. I'm glad you're making a lot of money, Nelvis. Want to bet? What do I'm going to block you. I don't like idiots. If you want to add value and you want to talk stocks and say, hey, crowd looks good, it's at all-time highs, why don't you talk about that? I know he does. Yes, and this is a nice bullish engulfing candle, and chances are it's opening at highs. So hopefully you bought it yesterday when it reclaimed the 21-day, reclaimed the spot, but this is a pretty loose and wide candle there. So if you want to just trade CrowdStrike or have it on, I hear you. I was very busy yesterday in Tesla. Tesla to me was a focus. Tesla to me was a great price through 335. So besides some other things, that was my focus. But I get it. Dell looks pretty good, actually. Dell took the day off yesterday. Dell crossed above this downtrend, held the 8-day. Looks like it's heading towards that gap. I like Dell. I think Dell looks pretty good. What looks good? Oracle. Some guys bought Oracle on the 8-day yesterday. Didn't even get to the 21-day. So Oracle, there's a lot to do. Bottom line is you don't need to be in everything to make a living. You just have to find a bunch of things that are on your go-to list you feel comfortable with that you can continue to buy and trade around and use a tier system. So with that being said, if you look here, okay, I don't have my options on. I have a decent amount of risk, right, for my active account. I have Dash on since like 34 points ago. IWM from yesterday. NVIDIA for the past a little while. Tesla as of yesterday, and options. I don't know why my options haven't showed up yet. This GSRT is a SPAC that has a shareholder meeting Wednesday. NBIS I've been kind of accumulating, and then the Sphere besides everything else. So I'm starting my day on a decent foot. But anyway, we'll move on. Someone said to me, CRCL, I bought puts yesterday. Okay, we'll see. To me, this got a little loose. It got a little wide, and felt like it got dragged at the end of the day. So I have some 250 puts. We'll see, what it does today. I think they're going to do a secondary offering because, just because they can. They went a little too far, too fast. But anyway, with that being said, this was a great buy at 165, and I think it was a better sell into 300. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. What's that doing this morning? CRCL is it's only down. It's showing a little relative weakness this morning, so we'll see how that goes. It's got to really break below 232 for those options to make really good money. Would I sell Google? I don't think so in Google. Grumpy. Don't be so grumpy. It's not a good way to go through life. So this is everybody, putting their, thoughts and asking me questions from either YouTube or it could be from Twitter. Zeta was really good. Grumpy grandpa. Don't be a grumpy grandpa. You made it to grandpa. Not everyone makes it to being a grandpa. Come on, have a little gratitude. I don't think you sell Google. It's just not where the action is. You can't be just trading Google, and make a living. I do think Google will be fine in the next multiple years, but Google, if you were buying Google yesterday, that wasn't where the action was. It's below the 8 and 21 day. It's below all the moving averages. I just think it's just not. Google goes through its times when it's in play and when it's not, and right now it's not in play. Again, there's better things out there. Micron has earnings. Okay, that's cool. ARM. I do like ARM. I think ARM has been trading really well. It's been above the 8 day. Look at the market came to the 21 day, and this only went to the 8 day. So ARM is showing some relative strength. ARM is one of the semiconductors that I think you could be in. AVGO looks good too. You could see a nice little upper wedge up here. Excuse my French. When it came out with earnings, the market really wasn't in the mood for, stocks making higher lows and higher highs. To me, I think this is a semi that you could be with and continue. It held the 21 day. It's nice and tight. Sometimes buying a gap open is tricky, but this stock has been in the game. It's funny, as I looked at Oxy yesterday, everyone's like, Red Dog, you're not in any energy names. What's the matter with you? I'm like, I just don't like the energy sector. I don't trade it well. It doesn't move well, et cetera, et cetera. And then people are like, well, look at Oxy because Buffett owns it. And it was literally right at this, downtrend again. And I almost bought it. Thank God I didn't. Look at that wide range candle right into the downtrend. Anyone shorting Oxy at the downtrend is getting, pretty wealthy. So I didn't go with it. And this is pretty gross looking and, no reason to be in it. Car. Let's see what Jay Rice is saying about Car. I don't really look at this. Big short interest. Wow. Avis. My mom worked at Avis. We try harder. My mom just passed away 2 weeks ago. Anyway, that's not good. But yeah, so I wish she would have told me about that a few days ago. But there's a lot of things going on like that. You think, let's see, Zeta. I think I went over Zeta the other day. Hack. Hack is a ETF for, I think, the cybers. Nice move right here. Held a 21-day engulfing. Yeah, listen, the more everyone's talking, the more you're seeing how many things are working. So all I got to say to you is, what you want to do is you want to be involved with communities on Twitter or maybe even in Discords, those that historically are bullish by nature, because historically the bull market wins. It does. It just does. If all you want to do is focus on this isn't going to end well, this isn't going to end well, is not a trading strategy. That's why I show you my 7 accounts, okay, which all serve a purpose depending on what phase of the market we're in. And if you trade for a living and it's June 24th, you better know your moving averages rules, you better know your day count rules, you better know your tier system, and you better be getting up early, working out, getting your mind right, drinking some iced coffee, and doing your chart work. So when things trigger, you can get with them. Why am I going back to Tesla again? Well, we'll see. For Tesla to have another move, it's got to get above and stay above 357. I would think 367 happens this week. I sold some puts. I'm in the stock, and I think it could even go a little bit more. But again, yesterday was your day to sink your teeth into what's it called, Tesla. And now's your day to start managing the trade. As that was really good yesterday. We'll see what else we could do. We'll see if NVIDIA could actually wake up. A lot of people have been actually in AMD. AMD lately has been giving you better gains than NVIDIA, but we'll see if that changes. 146.18. That's a pretty key spot. All right, guys. At 6:50, all I'm allowed to do is the 6:30 club for 30, not even 30 minutes, 20 minutes, to hopefully give you a little bit of a backbone to the day. If you want to spend the entire day with us, there's a lot of great traders in the Alpha team. A lot of guys that make a living trading, sharing ideas, living life, having a lot of fun with the glass half full, not half empty. If you're a half empty type guy, it's not a good way to go through life. You should change your perspective and have some gratitude that every day above ground is a good day. Anyway, with that being said, good luck. You want to hear a little I shot the sheriff before you go? Never shoot the messenger.
for the time.